So here we are in our second meditation of today, having moved up in frequency during our first meditation. It puts us into a beautiful place to receive Jesus, Sananda, Yeshua, whatever you may wish to call him. So we move within once again, bringing our focus to our breath and allowing the breath to relax the body once more. So we breathe in the light of spirit, entering into every cell of our body, entering into our subconscious, our emotional body, our mental body, our etheric body, as we feel ourselves becoming infused with these higher dimensional energies. For they are in the very air that we breathe, and bringing our focus to our breath allows our full bodies to receive this higher light, this higher frequency of energy, which is raising us and shifting our reality for us. So we find ourselves once again resting in our core, open above and open below, in that place of allowance, nothing to do, nothing to get, and nowhere to go. We return to that stillness within, that inner place of non-doing, where we are surrendered, letting go of all and simply surrendering to the divine flowing through us. So we spend a few minutes experiencing this flow within, as we simply breathe, rest within our being, finding strength within our core. And one's experience of I am, one's experience of who I am, has shifted away from the ego-mind personality of the human into the higher awareness of who I am as a being of light. For I am my light, I am my consciousness, and I exist in a physical vessel upon the third dimension. And as I rise in frequency, I see the illusion of this hologram, of this matrix, as my frequency rises, I learn not to judge, simply to observe, to see all that takes place, all the experiences I have of this third dimensional realm, which I now know to be a realm of illusion. It's not who I am, it's simply what I experience. And I have been so identified with the experience, I have forgotten who I am. So the beauty and blissfulness of the light which is moving through me now is actually mostly my own light, which is coming through from my soul star chakra above my head. So the higher beings of light that are working with us send their energies through my soul star chakra and down through my crown, through my core, passing through all my chakras and moving out through my lower body into the earth and ultimately into Gaia's core. And as I connect to Gaia's core, to her heart and soul, so I feel the power of her rising energy, her Kundalini, flowing upwards through me. And it is as if a meeting place is within the high heart, where my heart comes into oneness with Gaia's heart. I relax into the high heart. My high heart opens more to more flow as I rest within, letting go of all tensions, all stress, all concerns. And from this inner place of non-doing, this is where everything opens for me. And the more deeply within I go, the more that opens for me. My body loves to let go. My body loves to relax. And so my body is allowed now to be in relaxation. And from this place of relaxation, the body is connected to the higher self. So waves of light flow through you as we surrender to it. It works its way on our healing and purification. And as the light builds within, so my surrender to it takes place. As the light within becomes so much more powerful than the will of the ego, than the human mind, than the third dimensional self. For my higher self is now becoming in charge. It is such a relief to allow one's higher self to be in charge. For then there is nothing I need to do. I simply allow the fifth dimensional self to work through my physical vessel, my human beingness. and this is when all can go well. There is no limit to the ability of the fifth dimension to manipulate the third dimension, always for the highest good. So surrender to the divine is often called surrender to the will of God. And as we move closer into the fifth dimension, we discover the will of God is my will also. And what am I surrendering to? I am surrendering the human ego mind to my true self, to the self that I know is who I am. This is where we find our peace, where we enter into bliss and allow joy to make its presence. As the light intensifies, we rise above fear. So much is being received, much is taking place within, our brain structure being rewired, our nervous system adapting to the higher frequencies, new abilities being activated to come in over time. And above all, one's feeling of self shifting from the ego self to the divine presence of my soul. We have, of course, the support of all the Arcturians that are around us, bringing their blue light, the violet flame, every cell of our body, our emotional body, mental body, and etheric body, our consciousness and our subconscious, all receiving. So we ask specifically now from the Arcturians to please have another clearing of our auras and a rebalancing and realignment to a higher level than we were previously. And we simply rest, surrounded by the Arcturian consciousness, as we let them in. Feeling our oneness with them as our energies merge. So we feel ourselves gradually coming into a higher alignment, a recalibration taking place. And we increasingly allow ourselves to become more relaxed, softer, more gentle. And as we do, so we become more open to receive from the higher realms. So we look now through our third eye to our sun, and with the flow of our heart energy we send our focus, our intent and our love to the consciousness of our sun, to the soul of our sun, to the heart of our sun. For our sun is holding for us the Christ light. And you see now that Jesus, Yeshua, Lord Sananda, is in the center of our circle and is standing before each one of us. As you look to him and call his name, he sends to you the love of Christ, the Christ consciousness. As you feel the softening of his love, allow it to be. Allow his love to enter into every aspect of you. Feel its softness, its gentleness, yet its power. His love is unconditional. And as we feel his unconditional love, we are able to to feel love of self. For He ignites within us the Christ within, opening our hearts to activating the Christ within as it both descends from our soul and opens within our hearts. Throughout your day, whenever you call upon Him, He is there. And the Christ light is available to you at any moment as it enters in, as we open our connection to it, so it continues to grow within until it becomes a permanent state of being. As we enter into self-love, which leads to love of all and all things, we feel compassion, non-judgment, and acceptance of all that is. And there is great freedom in this. It brings such peace. And we have a higher perception also of the third dimension. But for now, we simply focus on Jesus, Sananda, His golden light in front of us, as we receive into our hearts this love which He holds. Our own aura and being is filled with golden diamond light. And gradually we merge with Him as we melt into His love. Consumed by His love and light of such beauty. As we move out of darkness, returning to our Christ itself in the fifth dimension and above. together now, allowing the energies within to expand and to integrate into our presence. And to begin to feel that sparkle within, which is pure joy.